Hello friends, in this video what I am going to tell you, actually I am getting so many comments about to tell you about CLOs and PLOs calculation. How can we calculate the CLOs and PLOs on the Excel sheet? So one of the comment I got it from the one of the faculty member of another university, and I have opened this comment here that Mr. Ubad is saying that Assalamu alaikum ma'am, can you please explain the formula or mechanism used for calculation of PLO results of whole batch, whether it is averaged or weight? I am from GCUF. I don't know what is the abbreviation of GCUF and managing this software as a focal person of QOB in the department. Please reply. So sorry, Mr. Ubaid, I got late and actually I was busy a lot with lots of tasks. Actually, I have to finalize the marks for the semester, which is currently I taught us. I thought so that's why I have planned to make this video because I got this weekend. So that's why I'm recording this, and sorry for that. I all when I will get love and respect from all of my audience who are watching my videos on the YouTube channel. So I really feel so obliged and feel myself that I am working something worthable for everyone. So let's have a look. And this is my Excel sheet of the CLO PLO, which I have made it in the fall 2020. And at that time, I was teaching engineering mechanics course. So how can I make it? So let's have a start. It's up to you. What is the sequence you want to put it? But what I am going to tell you here is that the final exam activity, midterm activity, assignments, and quizzes. It's up to you. How can you make it in a sequence? Hopefully, it is visible to all of you and it is clearly visible to all of you. So let's have a look. Let me increase the screen size and I can find the spelling mistake over here. So it's quizzes. So let's have a look. This is final exam activity, and I have divided final exam into 5 questions. So I have given 5 questions in the final exam. So question number one was based on the CLO1. Question number two was again on CLO1. Question number three on CLO2. Four is also on CLO2. And question number five was also on CLO3. So, and how it was mapped? So, it was mapped. Question number one, CLO1 was mapped with PLO1. CLO1 was mapped with PLO1. And CLO2 was mapped, also mapped with the PLO1. CLO2 was mapped with the PLO1. CLO3 was mapped with the PLO2. So you have to make this Excel sheet like this. Now there are lots of software available over there, that is QOB software. So on which you will get the this result easily. And now and onwards, we don't need this Excel sheet. But still, what is the benefit of this Excel sheet? When I was putting marks in this Excel sheet, so the CLO attainment was in front of me. So it is quite easier for me. Then first I put all the marks in it, and then finally I put it into the QB software. So let's have a look. This is a final exam activity, and I have given 5 questions in the exam, and each of the question marked as 10 marks. So because it was 50 marks question paper, so now I put all the each question marks of the student, whatever he or she attained. So I put in that. Next is midterm activity, and I have given 3 questions in the midterm activity, and there were 3 CLOs. CLO1, it's up to you. It's totally up to you if you want to give uh, 3 questions or based on the question number one, maybe on the CLO1, question number two and three on CLO2. It's totally up to you. It's not hard and fast rule that you have to give all the 3 CLOs in the midterm, or you have to give all the 2 CLOs in the midterm, or you have to give all the questions mapped with the CLO1. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to force you. It's according to your own criteria. It's teachers intelligence, whatever he or she wants to give in it. And question number one is mapped. Obviously, it is CLO1. So my CLO1 was mapped with PLO1. CLO2 was also mapped with PLO1. CLO3 was mapped with PLO2. So this is the midterm, and I have given three questions in the midterm. And then obviously the midterm total, final total, and then the assignments. So let's come to the assignment. But keep it in mind what you have to do in your course outline and CIS. Try to make all the assignments, quizzes, midterm questions, and final exams questions to be in the sequence according to the CLO1, CLO2, CLO3. Or if you have four CLOs, so obviously CLO1, CLO2, CLO3, CLO4. And what I have to say that CLO is the course learning outcome and PLO is the program learning outcome. I will make the video on it as well because I am getting queries from the students as well. They are asking about what actually the CLO is, what actually the PLO is. So in the next video, I will come up with the definitions and samples of the CLOs and PLOs. So let's have a look. What I have done, I have a total of assignments of 10 marks. So I have distributed these assignments like this. So I have increased the weightage of the CLO2 because actually CLO2 was important. So what I have done, it is of 4 marks. A2 assignment 3 marks and A1 3 marks. And you can see here these are not in the sequence. But it depends upon the requirement. If you do so, if you wanted to make it in a sequence, if you can do it, so you must go for the sequence CLO1, CLO2, CLO3. Okay, whatever the CLO1 is mapped with PLO1, CLO3 mapped with PLO2, and CLO2 mapped with PLO1. Then let's go on to the quizzes. Quiz number 1, quiz number 2, and 3. CLO, it is mapped with CLO3, CLO1, CLO2. And it is mapped with PLO2, PLO1, and PLO1. Okay, let's have this is the quiz total, and this is the assignment total. And one thing I want to make it clear, I am getting that if your total average CLO, total attainment of CLO attainments, if it is less than 0.5 or you can say less than 50%. So what does it mean by that? You have to revise the CLO. But you must have to educate the students as well. What you have to educate the student, for example, if someone is not going to attempt the question assignment of CLO1. For example, let's have a look. Let me color it yellow. And he does not attempt, he did not or she did not attempt assignment number 1, and that belongs to CLO1. And he or she did not attempt, for example, quiz number 2, and it also belongs to CLO1. He did not attempt question number 1 in the midterm, and it again mapped with the CLO1. And he did not able to attempt question number 1 and 2 in the exam. So what will happen? Obviously, his or her CLO attainment will be 0. Or if it is a very less number over there, so that will be less than 0.5. So in that way, he or she has to revise her CLO1. It means he or she is lacking in the CLO1. So a student must have to uh, check out this what they are doing. If they are left the question in the midterm that is belong to the CLO1, so they must have and they ensure that they have to solve the numerical question number 1 and 2 that belongs to the CLO1. So to their CLO attainment will be more than 50% in that way. So this is all about that. Now, Mr. Obed asked me about what is the formula for the CLO attainment for the whole section and for the whole batch. So what you have to do. So this is about percentage, and obviously it is very easy. You already know that. So this is total 100 marks. Because 10 marks of the quizzes, 10 marks of the assignment, 30 marks of the midterm, and 50 marks for the final exam. Whatever the marks you have, what you have to do here, this is the final grade, and you have to calculate the percentage over here. So what you have to do, you have to take the total total marks of attainment, whatever the marks a student attain. So for example, in this student gained 81 marks. So what you have to do, 81 divided by 100 multiplied by 100, so it will be 81%, 90%, 65%. Now this is grading. How the grading is that, for example, if w10 is which cell, this is w and this is 10. Let me show you this percentage. On this percentage you have to decide it. What you have to do, you have to decide this percentage, this one. This is the total marks and this one is the percentage. What you have to decide, whether this percentage is fail, pass, A grade, B grade, A negative, B positive, whatever it is. So you have to put the formula of the grade. So let's have a look. What you have to do, you have to do if equals to if W10. So the percentage, whatever the percentage student get it equals to SA or SOA if W10 is equals to UFM. If UFM, if W10 is less than equals to 49, if it is written over there that SA and SOA, so obviously he or she will not get any percentage, so that will be written over there that SA or short of attendance. UFM, obviously he is doing any kind of cheating and all that, so obviously teacher may get UFM, so you have to put UFM for that. For W10 is equals to A, absent, so it will be marked absent. If W10 is less than equals to 49, so it means it is fail because it is less than 50% marks. If W10 less than equals to 53, so the grade will be D. If W10 is less than equals to 56, so grade will be D plus. So whatever the percentage criteria, grading criteria in your university, you have to put it according to this, with this formula. If W10 is less than equals to 59, whatever the percentage student attained it, so you have to put the formula like this. Is less than equals to 59, so the grade will be C negative. W10 is less than equals to 62, so the grade will be C. If W10 is less than equals to 66, C plus. W10 is less than equals to 69, so it will be B negative. W10 is less than 74, so the grade will be B. W10 is less than equals to 79, so grade will be B positive. W10 is less than equals to 85, so it will be A negative. W10 is less than equals to 100, so it will be grade A. So this is the way to make the formula of the grade, and it's up to the criteria of whatever is following in the university, in your university. So this is all about the percentage, and Mr. Ubaid asked me about the CLO. So what you have to do for the CLO? So you have to take average. You have to take average formula equals to average, and what D10 divided by D$9. You have to sum up all the CLO1. What you have to do, see D10 is what? D10 is this one. You can see this is column D and this is 10 row. So D10 divided by D$9. So you have to take the average of it. So E10 divided by E$10, because you have to make this fix, because total marks of the question number 2. These both are the question mapped with the CLO1. So you have to put it this one. Then you have to go into the midterm. So question number 1, you have what you have to do. So this is J10 divided by J$9. Then for the assignment, this is N10 divided by N$9. And the next, S10 divided by S$9. So these, how many CLO1s, questions of the CLO1? 2 questions in the final was mapped with the CLO1. 1 question of the midterm was mapped with the CLO1. And then assignment 1 was mapped with the CLO1. and quiz number 2 was mapped with the CLO1. So you just have to take average of these values. How? You have to take whatever the student score in the question number 1 of the final exam divided by the actual marks of the question number 1. Then final exam question number 2 was also mapped with the CLO1. So whatever the student attain in question number 2 in the final exam, so you have to divide it with the CLO1. So total marks of the question number 2 of the final exam. Then there is a midterm. In midterm, how much marks student attained in the question number 1 divided by the marks, actual marks of the question number 1. How much marks student attained in the assignment number 1, that was mapped with the CLO, actual marks of the assignment number 1. How much marks student attain in the quiz number 2. So actual marks of the quiz number 2 divided by. So this is the way you have to take the average of it. When you are done accordingly, then let's move for the CLO2. So let's have a look. You have to put equals to average F10 divided by F$9. Why is it so? Question number 3 and 4 was belong to the CLO2. You can see easily over here. So what you have to do, you have to do F10 divided by F$9 at G10 divided by G$9. Question number 2 of the midterm was belong to the CLO2. So you have to divide it this. Whatever the student attained marks in the question number 2 and what is the actual marks of the question number 2. So you have to divide it 9 divided by 10. Then you have to do 4 divided by 4 for the assignment number 3 because it was belong to the CLO2. Then it for quiz number 3, you can see 4 divided by 4. So this is the way you can take an average. And then let's move on the CLO3. So what will be the formula? Equals to average all the CLO3. So let's have a look. Question number 5 of the final exam activity. It was belong to the CLO3. It was mapped with. So 5 divided by 10. Midterm question number 3 was belong to the CLO3. 6 divided by 10. And the CLO3 of the assignment number 2. 2 divided by 3. And the quiz number 1. 2 divided by 3. So this is the way you have to take out the average of the CLOs. These are all about course learning objectives, not course learning outcomes. So this is the wrong term written over here. So let me write it down. This is outcome. So the next thing is program learning outcome. And this is the theory result. And obviously you have to do it for the lab as well. Now you can see program learning outcome. What PLO1? We have only 2 PLOs because the CLOs were mapped with PLO1 and PLO2. So I have made 2 columns, and what more thing, what you have to put yes or no here as well. For the CLO1, I forgot to tell you that CLO1, when you will see that CLO1 is this. So your percentage criteria for the CLO1, CLO2, it is more than 50%. If it is less than 50%, or you can say 0.5, so what you have to do, you have to select this column, whatever the student attained CLO1. What you have to do, you have to put place comma and or no or yes. If he gained more than 0.5, or you can say more than 50%, so it will be yes. And if he or she gains less than 50%, so it will be no. So it means that if it is no, so it means that he did not attain, he did not pass the CLO1. So next, CLO2, CLO3, and you have to put yes or no with CLO2 and CLO3 as well. Now I'm moving towards the PLO1. So let's have a look. There are so many values. So let's have average. Equals to average. What you have to do, you have to check how many PLO1 in final exam. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All the 4 questions were belong to the PLO1 because CLO1 and CLO2 both were mapped with the PLO1. But their cognitive domain is different. So that's why I have made 2 CLOs over here. So what you have to do, your 10 divided by 10, comma 7 divided by 10, 6 divided by 10, comma 10 divided by 10. And for the Midterm question, 10 divided by 10, 9 divided by 10, comma, 9 divided by 10, comma, 3 divided by 3, and assignment 3 was also belong to the PLO1, 4 divided by 3, 4. So now you can see how many PLO1s are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in the quizzes, there is 3 divided by 3, comma, 4, comma, 4. 4 divided by 4. PLO1, PLO1. So now you can see I put the formula equals to average D10 divided by $9. Obviously, you have to place this, you have to make its constant, the lower value, because this is the actual marks of the question. And this is student marks, whatever he or she attained. So this is the way to take out its average. Now this is done PLO1. Now I am moving towards the PLO2, and there are very less because I have mapped only one CLO with the PLO2. So what you have to do, let's have a look. Now this only question number 5 was mapped with the PLO2. So 5 divided by 10, and this is 6 divided by 10, and this is 2 divided by 3, 2 divided by 3. This is done. And you obviously you have to place yes or no whether the CLO attainment or PLO attainment is less than 50% or greater than 50%. If it is less than 50%, so it will be no, and if it is greater than 50%, so it will be yes. So you have to place the formula like this. Now one more thing, you can see this is the grades statistics. This is the grading system, and I have placed the formula. It is count if. Count if, and you have to select the column which one, how many students attain A grade. So this is my column of final grade. So I have selected this whole column on which I can see how many A grades are there. So you can see 17 students out of 50 students got A grade, 7 A negative, 5 students gained B positive. You can see here count if formula here. B positive, B negative, B, C positive got 2. 5 students fail in the subject, D positive 2. So this is the way, and you can see the grade point as well. And according to C, you can see if a student get A grade, so it means that he got 4 GPA. If he get A negative, so it means that he got 3.66 GPA. So this is all the criteria, but keep it in mind that whatever the criteria is followed in your university, so you in the school, so you have to follow it accordingly. So now it's done. This is the grade statistics. Now we got all the CLO attainments, CLO1, CLO2, CLO3, PLO1, PLO2 attainments for the students. But now what I have to do, I have to take average of all the CLOs. Now I have to check CLO1 attainment for the whole section A. So what I have to do, I have to write down CLO1 theory here. And if it is visible, let me increase the size. Look, oh my God, it is getting too much. So let's have a look. Now it's done. Now it's done. Okay. What you have to do, let me show you that there is a formula average, and you have to select the column of the CLO1. CLO1 attainment of all the students of the section A. So I have selected this one. Okay. This is the average, and I got average 0.77. It means 77%. It is more than 50%. If it is coming less than 50%, so what does it mean? You have to revise the CLO. So let's have a look. CLO2. Now, what you have to do, you have to select this, and you can see you have to place equals to average, and you have to select the CLO2 attainment column of all the students, and you have to take out its average. And when you will see its average, so what percentage you are getting? 73%. So it is more than 50%. It is somehow satisfactory. So now this is CLO3 attainment. So you have to select this column, whatever the student attained here over here. And this is all about you. The average percentage is more than 50%. That is CLO3 attainment is 74%. So there is no need to revise the CLOs over here. Now, right now, I am moving towards the PLO1 and PLO2. What you have to do for the PLO1? For the PLO1 attainment, you have to put the average of all the PLO1 attainment of all the students of this section. And if you want to do it for the whole batch, so you can put all the marks of the students on the same Excel sheet, and you will get the all the criteria, all the attainment, CLO attainment. So now it's done, PLO attainment. And for the PLO2 attainment, what you have to do, you have to take average of the class. And then what you have to do, you have, oh my god, I have selected wrongly. Let me show you what is this. So this is whole PLO2 attainment of the class, and I have taken the average of this column. So now it's done, and it is 74%. So it is okay. Now overall PLO attainment, how can you make this graph? So obviously you have to go into the select data, and you have to select it. What? You have to select this one. This is the PLO attainment. So on the x-axis, there is a PLO1, PLO2. On the y-axis, you have what? 0.75. So in edit, let me show you here is what? PLO1 and PLO2 here. And if you can see what are the marks I am here, let me check edit. So I will place, I can write it down, series name, overall PLO attainment in percentage, and series values, obviously this one. These are the values comes on the y-axis and then x-axis. So this is the way you can do it, and you can make this graph. It is visible to, is it visible to all of you? You have to make this bar graph like this. So you, if anyone wants to see, you can see the criteria. Look, that the PLO1 is 0.75 and PLO2 is 0.74. It is taking many times over here. So I think it is not correct. We have to change its scale. So what we have to do, we have to go into the format axis, and we can change it from, let me see, minimum, let me take 0.7, and maximum it should be 0.6. So and this is done. Now it's good. Now it's okay. So this is the way to, you can take the values 0.7, 0.71, 0.72, and now you can see easily the difference, that PLO2 attainment is 74% and PLO1 attainment is 75%. Now overall CLO attainment percentage, what you have to do, you have to select data, and obviously you have to select what? You have to select CLO1 here. You have to select this column in this, and obviously you have to select the bar chart, or you can say the column chart in the Excel sheet, and you have to put overall, you have to write down overall CLO attainment, and you have to select series value, this one. You can see this checkbox. So this is done. It is already made over here, and now everyone can see the difference between that. CLO1 attainment, overall CLO attainment of this section A is 77%, overall CLO2 attainment is 73%, and overall CLO3 attainment is 74%. Next is overall class response. So this is the grading criteria. What it is, these are the grades. And for GPA, how many students are there? More than 16%. So you can see this one, 17%. So now what I have to do, let me show you the select data here. I am not making graphs actually here. So now you can see that in this portion, you have added this column. You put this column of the grade point. And if overall class response added, you can see overall class response, and the data is taken is to be this one. So now you can easily see, view via this graph, that how many students attain 4 GPA, how many students attain 3.66 GPA, 3.333, 2.66, 2.33. So you can see in the overall this section, how many students attain 4 GPA, how many students attain 3 GPA, how many students attain 2 GPA. For example, 2 GPA and 1 GPA did not attend anyone. And one more thing, if you want to add graphs over here, so what you have to do, you have to put, if you want to put access title, so you can put it. For example, here I have taken the number of grading you can say grade statistics, I can put it, and here I can put it grade point. So let me put it here, grade. Let me do it. Caps lock, grade point, and you can say it is GPA. Here I put it grade point, and on the y-axis I have taken is grade statistics. Let me see, grade statistics. So this is the way you can see it. And now after doing this, what I am going to do tell you is that you can make this graph, you will get it on the QOB software as well if you just put the marks over there. So this is the way to make the Excel sheet for the CLO and PLO attainment. And after this, you will find it out how much effort you have to put in and how much effort is required for to increase these CLOs attainment. How can you do that? So it's totally up to the teacher. How can he or she make their lectures more attractive, informative, and productive for the students? How can they work with the students? So it's all depend upon the teachers. But one thing I want to tell you, that students should have to realize how do they have to deal with the questions in their papers. So if they left any question in the midterm, for example, they left the question of the in the midterm related to the CLO3. So what they have to do, they must have to perform the question or solve the question of the CLO3 in the final exam activity. And one more thing, they also have to put the assignment and quizzes related to the CLO3. They don't have the any margin to leave the question which is mapped with the CLO3. So if someone left question number 1 and 2 in the final exam, and that is mapped with the CLO1, so he or she must ensure that he or she must have to solve the question number 1 which is related to the CLO or mapped with the CLO1 in the midterm. He also have to give a quiz related to the or mapped with the CLO1, and same with the assignments. So students and is very important because we cannot clap with a single hand. So teachers and students both have to put their effort to increase this CLO attainment. So if a student put their equal effort as the teachers are doing so, so what will happen? This percentage can easily increase to the 80 to 90%. So it's totally depends upon, not only depends upon the teacher, it is also depends upon the students as well. So they have to perform the courses, do their works, assignments, quizzes, midterm and final exams with their intelligence, and they have to be very smart in doing these types of in attaining their CLOs. If there any CLO is failed, so what they have to do, they have to re they have to, you can say, they have to study again that CLO1 particularly. So it is very important for all the students to be very careful regarding attempting question and answers in their exams, activities, quizzes, and assignments. So hopefully you guys understand how can they have to make their Excel sheet based on the CLO and PLO. But I must say over there, it's totally up to your own criteria. But CLO attainment and PLO attainments can easily be find out like this. And if you want, if you have any query left, so must ask me and comment me in the comment section of my this video. I will surely answer you. But please be careful, keep patience, because I am a working lady. So sometimes, and I also have a family as well. So sometimes I will get late, but keep tuned with me because I will provide you video and very easy method to do it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like this video, must watch it, subscribe it, share it, and like it. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Okay, now friends, what you have to do after watching my videos, you should have to subscribe to Engineer Nahid Shahzad YouTube channel and follow me at www.nahidshahzad.blogspot.com. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye bye.